Yes, ma'am.
What's the best part about being the governor?
The best part, that's a very good question. The best part about being governor is that every day you get to work on issues that are important for the state. The reason I ran for governor in the first place is so many of my friends were leaving the state. And I wanted to help change the state so my friends didn't have to leave. How many of you have got cousins or aunts or uncles that live outside of Louisiana? Well, see, I've got a brother and a sister-in-law, a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law that all live outside Louisiana. And I was tired of all my friends leaving. So like on Easter, you have to get on a plane and go visit them. Or on Christmas, you only get to see them once or twice a year. So my favorite part is that you get to work on issues that are important for the state. Yes, sir.
Where does the Senate do, besides vote for laws?
You know, the Senate has a lot of important responsibilities. One of the most important things they do is they vote on different bills. A second thing they do is the Senate, both in Louisiana and in Washington, D.C., they vote to confirm the different appointees, like cabinet appointees or other appointees. And actually, Jody is the chairman of that committee. It's called, in our state legislature, it's called Senate Governmental Affairs. That's a very important job. So like if you know the person who runs the roads department, the person that runs the schools, or the person that runs the healthcare department, they have to be approved by that committee. But their most important job, they provide oversight, they do many things. Most important job that they do is they make the laws. And so, for example, let's say that you decided you want to make a law. Like when I was a little boy growing up, there wasn't a law that you had to wear seatbelts in your cars. And then some people thought, you know what, that's not very safe. We need to have seatbelts. And so the Senate had to pass a law, a bill saying you've got to wear seatbelts. I'm just curious. I'll come back to more questions, so put your hands down. I'm just curious, if you can make any law that you want, if you could have Jody author any law that you want, what law would you want to pass? I'm going to take 3 suggestions. Yes, ma'am.
I forgot. No school.
No school. No drugs.
I actually have a question.
Okay, I'll come back to the question.
No guns.
No guns, okay.
Everything free.
Everything free.
Schools don't have to open any cross railroad tracks.
Okay, not open doors and cross railroad tracks.
No smoking.
No bad people.
Like the rules are like when a kid needs something, like when the kid wants to go to a game room with every team game, they go outside to give him there.
No, it's all right. No jail. No homework. What? No uniforms, okay. No getting punished. No bullet. That's a very good. Seatbelts and buses.
More schools.
More schools, all right.
No drugs.
No drugs.
No passports.
No passports. Less schools, okay. Okay, that's all right. No homework. No tickets.
No abortion.
No abortion. No practice. Taxes. No taxes. More recess.
More research.
What? No poor people. All right.
3 hours.
School 3 hours a day, all right?
More videos.
More videos. That's all right.
School will have a baseball field.
School has a baseball field, all right?
Everybody needs iPhones.
Everybody gets iPhones, all right?
No math.
No math?
Only have school 1 hour.
Okay, all right, let's put your hands down and ask a couple more questions. But let me explain to you about these laws, a couple of things, because you had some very good ideas, but remember this. One, that we can't pass laws that violate the Constitution. What does that mean? We have a Constitution that tells us that you've got certain rights as an American. Maybe you've heard of the First Amendment, the right to free speech. Or maybe you've heard of the right to the free exercise of your faith, your religion. What does that mean? That means that you can't just pass a bill that tells somebody, you can't make somebody do something that violates their constitutional rights. So there are limits to the laws you pass. Secondly, the thing you've got to think about is when you pass a bill, you've got to make sure you can pay for it. So if, for example, somebody said everybody should have an iPhone, if Jody tries to pass that bill, he's got to tell his senators, his colleagues, all right, we're not going to get the money to pay for it. And so when you try to pass a bill, you've got to work with other people, because some people aren't going to like your bill and some people are going to want to make changes, and that's why you've got to work together to figure out those bills. All right, let me take 3 more questions, and then I'm going to try to take one from, again, if you've already asked a question, let me ask you to put your hands down, so we'll give everybody a chance who hasn't had a chance yet. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of laws do you have to veto?
What kind of laws do I have to veto? Let me give you an example of some of the things I've said I would veto. I've said I would veto any bill that increases taxes, because I'm against that. I've said I would veto any bills that would try to legalize or expand abortion in Louisiana, because I'm against that. And so we say ahead of time, these are bills that I would oppose, and I would veto. And that's part of the checks and balances. And so I told the legislature ahead of time, look, those are bills that I wouldn't sign into law. They violate my beliefs, and that's why I would oppose them and veto them. And so that's part of the checks and balances, that the president and the governor has that ability to do that. All right, yes, ma'am, right there. Yes. What year was it? There was, I think it was like 1931, around that time. I don't know exactly.
I know how many years.
Yeah, no, I think it was around 1931. You know, on the first floor of the Capitol, you go to the House or the Senate chamber, they can tell you exactly, because they'll actually, they've got some women down there, some tour guides that can tell you all about the history of the chambers. But Huey Long was governor at the time, so I think it was approximately 1931. Yes, ma'am. How do I feel about being governor? Let me make this the last question, so I don't put y'all's hands down. You know, I tell my wife every day, this is the best job I'll ever have. And the reason I say that, no matter what else I get to do, this is a great, great state. Now, there are many days you have to work long hours, there are many days you have to work weekends, but that's okay. Because what makes this such a great job is you get to work on improving the state. And let me give you this final piece of advice. You know, whatever you want to be when you grow up, how many of you want to be governor when you grow up? How many of you want to be a doctor when you grow up? How many of you want to be a nurse when you grow up? How many of you want to be a teacher when you grow up? How many of you want to be a lawyer when you grow up? How many of you want to be a senator when you grow up? How about an engineer? How many of you want to